The thing that puzzles me, though, Alex, is you've described an incident where you saw a disc being accompanied by or pursued by helicopters. Tell me what you saw.
So we were in our backyard and we had just been camping the night before. Driving back from camping in our neighborhood, we saw an Apache helicopter pretty close to the ground, and it was just hovering there, and then it circled around and then came back to the same spot and was hovering, and we thought they must be looking for something. That's strange. And then we dismissed it, we went home, we were outside in the backyard, and then we hear helicopters coming.
What time of day?
It was approximately 10, just after 10 a.m.
Yeah.
in the morning.
So it's the morning, clear day?
In the morning, clear day.
What do you see?
So we see 7 Apache helicopters fly overhead, and we took a picture with what we had with us, which was just an iPad. But you can see in the photograph, which we'll provide to you, you'll see a silver UAP of some sort.
They were following it or chasing it?
Looked like the helicopters were escorting it.
It's just amazing to me how overt the activity seems to be.
Yes.
What do they expect, that locals aren't going to notice?
And that was right over West Sedona. That's the most populated part of town.
The sign here says that this is the Southwest Experimental Garden Array, or SEGA,
Yes.
some kind of research project from Northern Arizona University as part of a thing permitted by the Forests Department. So it's not a military facility at all, it's a scientific project. Have we got it wrong?
Well, that's what they're saying. There's the Southwest Experimental Garden Array, SEGA, by NAU. But the locals know that something else is going on, so that's more of a cover story.
And how do they know that?
Observations, encounters with military personnel, people in white coveralls, strange things that they've seen here at the ranch.
Like?
Well, when this was first bought by Northern Arizona University, there were military men up at Bradshaw Knoll guarding the entrance to the drive down, so nobody
this is
could.
Where we are right now, is this public land?
This is.
This is, but that's the Bradshaw Ranch.
Yes.
And that's now owned by the government.
Yes, Northern Arizona University is leasing it from the government.
Right. Do you buy the cover story, Jeremiah, that this is a experiment to discover the ability of plants and animals to adapt to climate change?
12 years ago, absolutely. Now, absolutely not.
Why, what's changed? What's made you realise that it's not what it is?
Observation, Ross. We've been coming here almost every weekend, sometimes twice a week, for approximately 12 years, almost 12 years this coming August. And we have never seen students from NAU. We have never seen a van from NAU with people in it, nor a professor checking up on the project.
So if it's a university project, nobody's doing any research
Nobody's
here.
doing anything. You would expect to see at some point somebody physically altering or even working or documenting something here. We've never seen any of that.
So tell me about the fence. Why is the fence significant? You were told something about the fence, weren't you?
I think the fence personally is significant for several reasons. First, by observation, I brought a friend who was stationed at Fort Knox. Complete skeptic, didn't think that anything abnormal was going on here until he looked at the positioning of the fence and the cameras inside. He first told me that when he was at Fort Knox, they had fences like this on certain portions of the post. He looked at the padlocks and said these are the same padlocks that the government buys, cheap padlocks, to lock things up. And so he wasn't surprised about that. But he said, I want to ask you something. He said, look at the camera on the tower. And so he drew my attention. If you look over our shoulders here, on the tower there, you'll see a camera. The camera's facing in, not out. He said the same cameras such as these we had at our post at Fort Knox, but of course they face naturally to the fence.
Because you're looking for people breaking in.
To look for people breaking in.
So where's that camera pointing?
That camera is facing in, and it's facing actually right where Linda Bradshaw photographed the portal that she spoke of and is now becoming very well talked of.
So help me here. Linda says, or said, she saw something open in three-dimensional space, some kind of portal.
She liked to stand outside at night with her dog. She was a night owl, and she enjoyed standing out and enjoying the ambiance of the desert.
But what's the story about what she said she saw happen when that portal appeared?
So she was in her kitchen at that time, looking out the kitchen window, and she said that she saw the portal open in the air.
How? What did she say she saw?
She saw a glitter of light, and it caught her attention. She looked up. Her dogs actually saw it too. She had like 5 of her ranch dogs with her. And she paid attention to the dogs because the dogs could send things before she could naturally. And the glitter light turned into what she described as an octagonal light, which then grew into a rectangular, almost a movie screen, like a drive-in theater type opening. Through that, she saw daylight, and in a brief moment, something flew through it, and just as quick as something disappeared flying through it, it closed up and was gone. She thought to herself, now I'm ready. If this happens again, I'm going to capture it for posterity on film. It did happen, and she was ready for it. She saw this glitter of light. She grabbed her camera, which was hanging around her neck, got it up just in time to click 2 frames, and whatever it was gone. When she developed the frame, she had, in fact, a rectangular shape, just like she saw before, with a disc, a classic UFO or UAP type disc flying through. So
she actually got a photograph of the portal?
She did.
My logical, rational brain is saying this is nonsense. This is a delusion. It can't possibly be true. We don't have things called portals. Help me here.
I will. There's an electrical engineer who's a friend of mine. He's retired, and he's dedicated every ounce of his know-how to make his own equipment to come out here and test the geographical oddities in this area. And we can kind of bring up the CERN experiment in, I believe it's Switzerland. They were experimenting with their collider. And we have, by my friend, I can't name his name, but his own admission in his research out here, very odd things that happen through the ground here, and they can be measured by science. And there's a lot of empty cavities under the ground here with water running through them and cold air. They create friction, which makes electrons, and the electrons are carrying positive and negative ions up into the air, and they're attracted to each other. And I'm no scientist, so I'm a layperson for describing this, but they attract each other to a point where they collide, and when they collide, that's when he says the magic happens.
But so he's thinking it's a natural phenomenon?
He thinks it's natural.
So he doesn't think there's anything paranormal about it?
No.
But what you're describing, some object coming out of a square-shaped rectangular hole in 3-dimensional space, that's pretty paranormal in my book.
It's pretty paranormal, and it's enough to make somebody shake their head, so absolutely not, it's not happening.
And how many people have seen that phenomenon at the Bradshaw Ranch?
I can't count how many have actually seen it here, but the number of anomalies that people have witnessed here, aside from portals, and some people have claimed to see a portal here, are probably into the hundreds now.
So what you're saying, I mean, I need a bit of help here, because this is a huge
it's a lot to
thing
chew
to
on.
accept. You're saying not only is this a secret military base where we assume they're working on something, perhaps reverse engineering retrieved non-human technology, it's also the site of a paranormal location.
Very much so, very much so. It's become one of the most talked of hotspots in Arizona.